All right, the recording is good, ready to go. I'll catch up here on the chat. Just a moment, let me see what I can do with this. All right. Cool. All right, what do we have here? What have I missed in the chat? What are you guys talking about? Okay, M. Zdenek. If I pronounced that right, it mentions automatic script for plotting levels, but don't remember where you said you found the levels. Remind you of the levels. Yeah, the levels are you're in the bootcamp, right? In the bootcamp, it is in the Telegram group, market analysis. I put it in there yesterday. I believe. Yeah, it's right there. Yesterday, 2:25 p.m. my time. So whatever that is, that's about 8. I don't even know what time that is for you guys. But anyways, that's in there in the market analysis group. If you really have a hard time finding it, just let me know, or later in this call, I can find a way to share it. I don't think we can share files in here, but I'll find a way. I'll always find a way, email or whatever works. No big deal. All right, we got a whole bunch of people in here. You're Kevin. Driving me nuts, man. You always get me. It's so funny every single time, Kevin, about the lines. Oh, shit. Scott, you're in AMD already. Are you over trading or are you trading? It's a very clear distinction. It never gets old, I know. You guys just know my little pinpoint, right? And you just like poke me right there. Anyways, all good fun. All right, we have about 60 people in here. Ara, you were asking about the trade from yesterday. Want to go through it, but we're only at half the crowd right now. So let everyone come in. I think what we'll do is we'll do it about 30 minutes after the open. And I need you to remind me, please. If you don't remind me, I will forget. I'll get caught up in something I know. So I'm counting on you. I think everyone in here is counting on you. Thanks. All right, real quick, I'm going to look at what's on the news calendar today. 7 a.m. done. 7 a.m. 7. I don't see anything. Wait. What am I seeing? I'm seeing something different here. It's 9:10. That just happened. Fred Jefferson speech. 10:30. Okay. Crude oil stocks change in May. You know what? We've been seeing that on the calendar for a bit, every week, last couple of weeks, and it has no impact on what I do, at least trading the SPY. So I'm going to ignore it. The oil news that's coming out at 10:30. Gasoline stocks change. It's all an OPEC report came out earlier today. Okay, so I'm going to ignore all this. The energy sector is not in favor these days, even though I'm heavily invested in it. There's a different reason for that. So, all right, nothing in the news calendar to keep me out of trading. Nothing in the pattern setup so far to keep me out of trading. So, Agnes, yeah, these days I only trade the SPY, but that's recently, I think, recently, last month or so, I think, guys, if you can correct me. And, but the strategies have evolved over the years of trading everything, catalyst stocks, volatile stocks, low float stocks, the Mag 7, various different strategies, and even pink candlesticks. I've gone through all that stuff. So far today, as of right now, as of the last month or so, I've landed on the SPY, and that too only options on the SPY, because I'm looking for two big things. One is leverage, and the other is massive liquidity. And the SPY offers both of them. Well, SPY options, even more than SPX options. Futures is the only other thing that might be considerable, but you know, I don't need to go there. I don't have a problem with the SPY these days. It's all good. So that's the reason for it.
You said that SPY options have more liquidity than SPX?
Well, put it this way. I've struggled to exit SPX positions.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. But also, doesn't SPX not have time decay?
Oh, it does. These are options. Options are contracts with an expiry date.
Oh, then it's the futures that don't have time decay, right?
Exactly. Futures, yeah, they don't, as far as I know. I mean, they go on for 3 months, and then towards the end of it, you basically don't trade them in the last month or so, and I don't really know why. I've only dabbled with them a little bit. But as far as I know, yeah, the time decay is not an issue, not like it is with options. It's a totally different world. Futures, it's odd that the underlying actually seems to approach the future price. But anyways, that's how that goes. But basically, when you're trading futures, you don't need to worry about time decay. That's the general rule. And liquidity is not a problem, and you get all the leverage in the world. So that's all there. Yeah, there you go, Cheryl. Watch for contract change date. That's it. Just watch the date. So from what I've done in the past, about a month or a few weeks before the date change, you trade the next one coming up or something like that. I can't remember. It was a year ago, I think I played with it. All right. Anyway, so let's get on to business today. We have 10 minutes to the open. All I've got here is the SPY. You can see this. It's pushed up. It's consolidated. Very nice little consolidation right now. I'm just looking for the breakout going up from this area, 588.78, 590.75. If it happens at the open, great. If not, no big deal. We'll find something later. And that's all I've got for now. Anything else y'all want to look at, let me know. I'll pull up the chart and look at it. Yeah, Paris, go ahead.
Just wondering, did you take any trade yesterday?
Yes, I did. I got into probably the biggest trade of my life yesterday. Yeah, I will share. We're getting into the open now, but a couple other guys have also asked about this. So what I'll do is let's get through the open. So about half an hour in, as things are slow, I'll pull up that screenshot and we can go through it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yesterday was probably the most complex trade I've taken in a while. Also the biggest, so worth sharing. All right. Anyone else want to look at any other ticker before the open? Let me know. We have a few minutes. Happy to go through whatever is on your mind. Yeah, Dan, go ahead. You got a question, Dan? Got to unmute yourself and come online. Alberto, you want AMD? Let's look at AMD. Whoa, what happened to AMD? Scott, you said you were into this. All right, very good. Obviously, it looks like a catalyst or some news or something's making a jump. For those of you who like opening momentum, this is your kind of thing. So you're looking at ORB stuff or Fallen Angels, Rising Devils, all those kinds of trades. AMD obviously has that. You're probably looking at a lot of volume. You're probably looking at RVOL very high and it's extended from the VWAP if you have those indicators on your chart. Again, if you're scalping and playing opening momentum, you need those indicators. I'm not interested in that stuff, so I don't have it. But yeah, I think it's good for that. For what I'm doing, there's nothing in it. I'm not even going to look at it. At least this pattern is not my style. But yes, opening volatility, expect volatility. I don't know which direction, but stick to your trade book. And you should be okay.
Mike, can you hear me okay, Avi?
Yeah, Dan, go ahead. Got you now.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
On deploying the measured move indicator, for example, how do you treat a stock like AMD now? 8 a.m. candle has been engulfed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as far as the pattern is concerned, you see this little consolidation right here. That's the 8 a.m. That's a little consolidation and then the breakout. This breakout is what you'd like to get into. Of course, it's done. It happened in the pre-market if you want to trade the pre-market. But that's the setup. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's already got to the next level. So as far as I'm concerned, the move is done. I wouldn't be looking for it to come back and retest and go again. The only thing that may be possible on my strategy here is it consolidates at one of these levels somewhere. So 1 or 2 consolidation candles on a 30-minute chart, and then you have a continuation for the long. The other thing that's possible is it's running real hard and fast, and eventually it puts in a big reversal pattern, a double top, a long tail hammer in the right context, those sorts of things, and then you get that move down. That's the only thing that is maybe possible with what I'm seeing here. But again, my strategy is not built on attempting to capture this stuff, this momentum stuff. I've been moving away from this more and more to try and get bigger trades, make more money. But yeah, that's how I would do it, using my strategy. But you got to understand, levels are interesting. I have levels here. Whatever your strategy is, and if it's based on levels, well, you have levels. Use whatever levels make sense to you. For me, these levels make sense. That's why I use them. If on previous days, highs and lows, or whatever daily chart levels, 60-minute chart levels, whatever makes sense to you is what you should use. And if that's a part of your strategy, great. You have an ORB breakout from a level. Okay, fine. So again, just telling you what my strategy is, and doesn't mean that's the only strategy out there. There's many ways to do this. I'm sure a lot of people will make money, and probably a lot of people will blow up as well on AMD just because of the excess volatility in it.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Avi.
Sure. What else we got here?
Yeah, for PLTR, I can see the bearish price action on 30 minutes and the descent triangle on 1 minute. Do you take trade at that, because it's a bit like a $1 distance from the level? You take the trade here?
I wouldn't touch this at all. For what I see, if you're looking at a reversal, like it's strong and then it's coming back down, you want a double top, and this is not a good double top because the first top is here, the second top is higher. This is the bulls being in charge, making higher highs. It's not the bears taking over. Okay. I wouldn't even think about a short. On a 30-minute perspective, forget about it. There's nothing there. All you know is that yesterday was very bullish and it's consolidation. 1 minute stuff, I have no idea what it's going to do. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. I don't anticipate a lot of volatility. Again, looking for opening momentum because that happened yesterday. Big day. Today might be a chop day. On a 30-minute chart, I wouldn't touch it inside this range. Perhaps a breakout over there above 130.94, maybe that area. And then again, you're still scalping. So, you got to be very careful with this stuff. Make sure you go to break even quite quickly, de-risk it. Again, all opening momentum stuff. Other than that, I don't see much. I wouldn't even look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. What do we got here? Daisy, my trades. Daisy, for me, a full-size risk on a trade is $50,000. That's a full-size risk. And ideally, once I scale into that size, it's already on its way. So I have high conviction before I put on that kind of risk. Alex, it seems so far that you're leaning more towards long breakouts. Nah, Alex, no, it's just based on the market. I took a mountain of short trades last month. No big deal. You just got to base it on price action. I base it on price action, 30-minute candles, nothing more.
50,000 or 5 million?
We're working towards 5 million. You know it. We're getting there. Step by step, man. Don't jump it.
I have a quick question. On SPY, were you watching the level 588.880 because of the multiple resistances? Is that the level you're going for today?
No. That level exists over there because it's the top of the 8 a.m. candle. This is the 8 a.m. candle. What I have in my strategy is the high and the low of that candle. And the other lines are nothing more than the same distance apart. That's it. Nothing else on this chart. And then I'm just waiting for the 30-minute candlesticks to get to any of these levels and put in a good pattern, one that I can rely on, either a continuation or a breakout or a reversal. And then I'll go with it. That's the only way I do it.
Thank you.
Yep. There you go, Shane. You guys talking about risk per trade and all that in here. Make sure you risk only what you can afford to lose. That's why people talk to me about size and position size and they see my P&Ls and okay, I get it. It's a big deal. But don't put any risk on a trade that you can't afford to lose because nothing is guaranteed. The market doesn't do guarantees. Wait for your setup and put on the risk with the stop. That's what defines a risk. And there's a reason for it. It's because it doesn't do guarantees. If the market did guarantees, we'd just go full buying power every trade, every day and make $1 million every day. No matter how good you are, that doesn't exist because this is a business of probabilities, not guarantees. Please get that straightened out. Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
Hey, Avi, good morning.
Morning.
If you look at the Tesla, this 30-minute, although it is looking at the breakout, but this hanging man candle. So is it showing okay, these buyers are not strong enough, it can come down to pick up strong buyers, or what this candle indicates?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, huh? It's I don't say it's a great hanging man because it's got wicks on both sides. It's more like a doji than anything else. But I mean, as far as the candlestick setup is concerned, I'd wait for a Tesla to get up to this level and then wait for that breakout. I'd be struggling to really take that breakout. I'd wait for it to really go and then come back and bounce off again, take the retest of the breakout. Because the consolidation is not ideal. It's more like down here, a little below the level, right? Around 344.20 or so. And you just have one touch on that level. Ideally, what you want for a good solid breakout is that the candles keep bumping itself on that level, multiple touches, multiple times, and that sets up a good breakout. So I'd be a little hesitant on this one. Again, that's just my strategy. If you're playing opening momentum, I mean, you could get long somewhere down here and you go off VWAP or something like that, right?
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, what do we got, guys? We got about a minute to the open, so let's clean up the chat and get ready for it. Again, I'm only going to look at the SPY. I'm typically going to sit out 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, if it's still jumpy, but doesn't mean I enter on the 5th minute if it's not at my level. I'm looking for a breakout out here to go. If it's not there, it's not there. I'm going to put a line right here. Yesterday's high, right there. You can see that resistance, 589.07. So I got to keep an eye on that. That looks like it may not break from there. So anyways, that's it. That's what I'm looking at. Got the 1 minute, the 30. Get some call options ready to go. If I'm going long, probably take 589, just in the money. We'll see. I can always change that around. Cool. All right. Everyone who wants to be here should be here by now. 5 seconds to the open. Take it easy, guys. The market is a gold mine. Opportunities all day. Here we go. And we're open. So getting it, yeah, some strength in there. Feel that Tesla straight away down, huh? And NVIDIA, I gotta pay attention there too. So I'm watching the SPY. Let me know if something's on your minds, guys. If you want me to watch anything else with you, can take a look. For now, I'm just waiting for the setup. For my setup here, I've got a consolidation on a 30-minute. What I also want is a consolidation below the level on a 1 minute. And realistically, I'm really looking for it to break 589 before I put any real risk on. That area is pretty serious. And if it doesn't happen, no big deal. Something else will happen in a few hours. Man. There you go, Dave. Tesla all the way down, huh? There comes your ORB going down. Let's put Tesla on the screen here. Get that ORB. There it is. Who caught that a minute ago? Broke the low of the 1 minute candle as well as of the 8 a.m. level. That to me is very significant. And if it's not too far off the VWAP, you probably have a decent chance. So there, for you guys who like ORB stuff and opening volatility, off you go. For me, the SPY is just sitting there, not going anywhere. What else was good? What else did you guys want to look at? Oh yeah, AMD was in the works today. Oh, let's look at that as well. Okay. You know, I can put AMD on this screen and I can watch SPY on the other one. All right, so AMD had that big run up so far. And at the open, expecting volatility. Oh, an ORB going up looks good. If it reclaims the opening price and the high, you might get a lot of pop really quickly going up on AMD. Keep an eye on that. I think that's a setup. There it goes, AMD. Very good. Who caught AMD? You got a little scalp on Tesla down and AMD up. Who's in these, man? There's all kinds of opportunities. For those of you who like all this momentum stuff, it's all there. Fallen Angel, perfect setup on AMD. Near perfect. Sujit, you're into Microsoft. Cool. Oh, Tesla. Whoa. Look at that. Yeah, we'll look at that, Sujit, in just a moment. But this is interesting on Tesla. If you caught that initial ORB, maybe you stopped out, maybe you re-entered. I mean, that's the way to do these things. You got to be fast. Otherwise, you know, it's hard. And yeah. Tricky though, again, see, with momentum. I think Tesla's been a good example today. You enter with momentum, the momentum stalls, you start partialing out. You probably have 2 opportunities to get into this and partial out, so 2 partial trades. So far, AMD, I saw 1 opportunity go long. So there we go. All right, what do I got here? What did we want? So you were saying Microsoft, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Okay, let's get this all in the right place. Yeah, look at that. Broke out of the 8 a.m. area. It shot right up through yesterday's high even. Wow, that's interesting. What's interesting, I think, is you got this great big consolidation area and then a breakout just happened. So on a bigger perspective, that's really neat. Now, you want to be careful up where it is. Yesterday's high, 2 days ago high. In this area, you might struggle. 1 minute perspective, it's already gone. I'd like to wait for it to come back and bounce off 449, or whatever indicator you're using. You might be using a 9 EMA, which is probably about 450 at this point. And there you go. All right, I gotta watch the SPY. Got something going on here. Let's see if I get into something earlier today. What's wrong with this thing? This keyboard is all lit. All right, here we go. What do we have? 588 now. See, I like the consolidation for the breakout on the 30-minute, but on the 1 minute, it's just running up. There's no point entering just because it breaks out the level up here because you're just chasing it. It's going to probably come down. I want a good little consolidation here, and I'm still going to hesitate to go long. If I do, with an ideal pattern, I'll put a small risk on. I really want to put risk on above that green level, green line, which on a 30-minute chart, you can see getting in on the green line area, going up, there's plenty of risk to reward. You can get 5 to 1 or 10 to 1 even, if your entry's tight enough. So anyways, things to keep an eye on. There it goes, running up. And it's not there for me yet. Tesla's going up now. If you catch an ORB to the upside on Tesla, guys, it's a great Tesla both ways. Wow, look at this thing. This is where you don't enter, okay, guys? Really, this thing is running away. I don't like entering when it's on the move. I prefer to enter when it's chilled out. You know, it looks like this, these few candles here. You can get in, put a tight stop, put a good size. You're not freaking out that your stop has to be wide. You can't put a size on, and then you don't really know where to put it. You want to tighten it, but you can't. There you go. You don't chase these things. So again, see that resistance, previous day's high. Take a few minutes consolidation before it goes anywhere. Yeah. So who got in on this? We had Tesla and AMD, 2 opportunities. Well, 2, I think 3 potential opportunities on Tesla and 1 on AMD so far. Most of you guys like this sort of stuff, so it's all there. All of that happened already. It's only been a few minutes.
Avi, I have a question.
Go ahead.
For the 5-minute ORB, like something like AMD, like when it's moving up so much, I learned that you usually have to wait for like 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes to see which direction it's gonna go. But when you're looking at the 5 minute for the candle to finish forming, but then you're looking at the 1 minute to get more of a like to kind of like see what is happening. When it's going up so much like that, it's like I feel like I'm kind of like missing the opportunity to jump in. But then again, I kind of want to wait for the 5 minute to happen to see which direction it's going. I kind of don't know, you know. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're experiencing FOMO.
I think so.
Perfectly normal. That's okay. Don't worry about it. And one of the things that I always remind myself and everyone I work with is that the market is a gold mine. It truly is. I mean, I could get FOMO right now trying to get long on the SPY maybe twice in the last couple of minutes, would have stopped out both times. What a waste of time, you know? So the market is a gold mine. Take it easy. You miss it, so what? Wait 5 more minutes to get something else. Wait 30 minutes. Come back in an hour. Go make some breakfast. Come back. You'll be all right. You'll find something. You know, that's how the market works. It truly triggers us human beings into incredible, impulsive, emotional, immature decisions, really. And that's the hardest part about trading is not the strategy. Strategy is easy. I'll show you that in 5 minutes. But really, to be able to become a trader, it means to have that massive emotional intelligence where you do not succumb to impulse and triggers and FOMO and revenge trading, all that stuff. So what if you waited 5 minutes and the thing ran away from you? Okay, let it go. Do you know how many other things in the market already in the last 7, 8 minutes have run away from you? You know, there are about 1 million pickers out there. They're all gone. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Remember, money not lost also counts in your P&L, right?
Right.
Imagine your P&L without those negative numbers in it. Great. So if you're having FOMO and you're acting and making decisions based on FOMO, you're going to have a lot more red rows in your P&L, basically. So relax about it. Let it go. If your strategy tells you wait, then wait. And after you wait, if it's not there, it's not there. My strategy told me wait for about 3 or 4 minutes. And now look, we're 8, 10 minutes in. I haven't got anything. So what? Yesterday, I waited all day, and it was like noon when I finally got something. You know? So take it easy. There you go. AMD wants to go now. Break of high of the day, probably. Oh.
Okay,
So be
thank
aware.
you.
Yeah, sure. Be very aware of that. Everyone in here, be very aware of your emotional state. That is what makes you a trader. There's one thing is trading, which is learning strategy, but how to truly be a trader and be consistent for a long time in this business and really grow it, it comes down to the trader, being a trader, not so much the trading. And that's the stuff that it's all about. That's what mentorship's truly all about. That's what you got to learn. That's the hard stuff. Right now, we have interesting price action on the SPY. You can see where it pushed up, consolidated for the breakout. Very good little ABCD pattern. So the breakout happened, and look at this. It came and bounced pretty much off of where it was struggling previously. What was a resistance area looks like may have turned it to support. Let's see if that continues. That'll be excellent because you had buyers down here. Ideally, you're getting buyers up here. So those buyers are moving higher and higher to the point where if they get over that green line and give me some good strength, then I'll be interested. And that might take hours. It might take another 5 minutes. I have no idea. Just got to sit and watch. But let's see. In the meanwhile, what do we got?
Google's flying.
Google. Okay. Google, yeah, look at that. Nice little consolidation. The breakout happened. Looks very similar to the SPY 30-minute chart. Let's see what happened. Yeah, look at that. Consolidation. You guys like 5-minute ORBs? There it is. It happened about in 7th minute or so is where you'd enter, approximately there. And you're on your way. So you wait to find precisely where that resistance is and that support is. What is the opening range in those first 4 or 5 minutes while sitting out? And then you get that breakout. That's a very good one. Good example. Good catch. Thanks for bringing that up. Neat.
It has a breakout, but it didn't have the retest. That's what I didn't. I was just watching it for a pullback, but it didn't. It just flies, so it's just gone. So I'm not going to chase it.
Yeah, don't chase it. And the truth is, it broke out, what, 5 minutes ago? The retest could happen 15 minutes from now. And then you get the big one of the day, right? You could easily have that. So, don't worry too much about it. If you look on a 30-minute perspective, look at this. This is a pretty large consolidation zone. It might well come back an hour later and retest and bounce off. And give you the big move. Again, remember, the big moves of the day are usually the second and third moves of the day. These initial volatility moves are just volatility. And if you're really, really good at playing opening volatility, I mean, if you're really good, you're going to get 2R trades a lot of them, which is, to me, not acceptable. 3R is a bare minimum in my book. So I don't go behind this stuff. I'd rather run the big ones and try and catch the 5 and 10R positions. And it's worth it, guys. It's worth waiting, for a little bit and doing it that way. What do we got? Yeah, Joe, go ahead. Oh, not Joe. Sorry, Dennis, go ahead.
Hi, Effie. Quick questions. Are you using the 30-minute level? Is it only useful for 30 minutes, or is your choice?
It's a choice. It's a choice based on what I'm trying to achieve with my trading. And after doing this for many years, I've landed on the 30-minute chart. What I'm able to get out of it is the biggest moves of the days, the bigger ones, usually, very consistently. And I'm able to also, more importantly, not get caught up in this kind of 1-minute mess. You see all this? You're getting stopped out probably once or twice. You got wicks on both sides. Or if you look at, I don't know, Tesla, I would have got stopped out. Probably 1 decent trade and probably 2 stop outs, something like that. The 30-minute and the way I use it keeps me out of a lot of trouble. So, for example, on Google on the screen right here, you see where it's been choppy? So I anticipate right now where it's been choppy, it's going to keep being choppy between those 2 lines. So let's go into the 1 minute. And you can see that. Look at that mess. So on my strategy, I don't touch it in between these 2 lines because that's where it's been choppy. The 30-minute told me that. I will only consider it when it's looking like it wants to get out of that zone, breakouts or such things. So the 30-minute is actually a tremendous time frame, the way I see things, to help stay out of a lot of garbage positions. And then also, when you do get it, I get a pretty decent win rate. Most of my winning days a lot, very often. So that's why I use it. And for those of you who want more details on that, all in the webinars I've done in recent times, I did a whole thing on fractal patterns, on Fibonacci levels, on naked trading setups, and then even options and risk management. All that's there. It's all in, you know what, I'll just give you the link so you guys don't ask me about it later. There you
Avi,
go.
Avi, do
Here.
you think the SPY from 6 a.m. is form the ascendant triangle in 5 minutes chart?
Just a moment, I'll look at that. But yeah, guys, the link is right here. I put it here in the chat. If you click on that, going down towards the bottom, you'll see where I've got other additional links with all the recordings of previous webinars I've done on talking about levels, time frames, fractal patterns, naked trading setups, all this stuff. So there you go. The details are all in there, as well as the BBT Education Center if you're BBT members.
Got it.
As well as yeah, as well as you guys can reach out to me through that. All my communication links are in there, social media, all that stuff. Sorry, who was asking? SPY 5 minute? Asking
Yeah,
what's
5 minutes forming the ascendant triangle in 5 minutes from 6 a.m.
Okay, let's look at this. You keep asking about that. Oh, yesterday you were into that too. Let's have a look. 6 a.m. 5 minute. 6 a.m. is around here.
Yeah, until now is forming the triangle.
Up to now. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're looking at this flat top over here.
Yes.
Look at that. You know, I don't like the look
Very
of this.
tightening.
Yeah, I don't like the look of this. You know what an ascending trial should look like? Should be, you don't want these kind of gaps at your flat line. You want to avoid them. And if you notice, this little gap here, it's not, this gap is bigger than the previous one. It should be tightening, not getting wider. This is becoming a great big area of chop. A triangle, you know, one side of the triangle is a slanted side, right? It's tightening, whereas one side is flat. So I see a flat area here. It's not really flat because even these highs are kind of getting higher. And now the lows are getting lower. This is just a great big map, really. So no triangle on this one. Cool. All right, what do we got?
Look at Google if I was chasing it.
Yeah, don't chase it. Smart. Good call, man. Good call. Now wait for that retest. Now again, in my strategy, the move is over. So it broke out, went to the target, done. I wouldn't wait for a retest. That's my strategy, but many times, you know, different strategies, you can see a retest may want to happen. And a retest, you can see it's already inside the zone. As long as it's within the top half of it, you can still consider a retest. If not, I'd say it's just gone back in. And that's the end of that.
Hey, good morning, Avi.
Morning. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Are you covering for me? Because
what's going on is I'm trading live with boot campers every day during this boot camp.
okay, because I was on the schedule for today, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw you on the schedule too. I figured you might pop in or you might not. But basically, this boot camp I'm live every day. Thor's on here with me Tuesday and Thursday. Other than that, I guess people rotate as they please, as you please. So if you'd
Okay,
like,
I'll just hang out in the background then.
cool, yeah. Come hang out. I'm sure you see a lot of things I don't see, so that'd be great. So there you go. Now Google's on its way down. Who was talking about that? Oscar, I think. Someone. Yeah, you don't want to get into
That
that.
was me that said I'm not chasing it. I'm saying it was just moving and I'm not going to chase it because I'm going to be burned. And I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to chase anything. Imagine I chased the SPY up here. Would have been a disaster, right? 2 or 3 stop outs by then. So there's a good reason not to chase. Just let it go and you'll catch something at some point. It's a mess down in this low area. I'll put a line here because I see support down here. And just let it get there, and then I'll find out what to do with it. I'll figure out what to do with it. Hey, anyone into anything interesting? We had some decent volatility earlier. Not much now.
Avi, can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can see that you mentioned and use Fibonacci levels quite a bit. I don't have Fibonacci levels on my chart. Do you think it is mandatory that I add them to catch potential supports and resistance levels?
So firstly, I don't use Fibonacci levels. Secondary, it's not mandatory. Nothing is mandatory. There are a million different ways to trade. My trading is based on these. Now they're called Avinacci levels. Just levels I created for, you know, they have their own definition. And no, there's no you're not mandatory to trade anything, a specific indicator. You got to work with what makes sense to you, what is relevant to your personality, a reflection of your personality, what aligns with your levels of patience and tolerance, and your appetite for risk and reward. You know, your patience for waiting for a resolution in a trade. Can you wait 30 minutes before you know it's a stop out or a profitable trade, or do you need to know within 10 seconds? You know, all that stuff comes into the picture when you're figuring out your trade book. So no, there's no mandatory indicator to use.
That's not where you enter.
Okay, maybe the word would be advisable.
Well, I've never really used Fibonacci consistently. I played with it for a while and figured I don't want to use it. So I can't tell you much about it in the day trading perspective. There are people who do it, but I'm not one of them.
So,
All right, what do we got here? Tesla is interesting. You can look at that. Agnes, I think you've got a hot mic there. A lot of noise coming through your mic.
sorry.
All good. Tesla. I might be thinking Tesla for a long, but what I don't like about thinking about Tesla as a long is that you see the second low here is actually just a couple of pennies lower than the first one. And once I see something like that, I'm definitely not thinking long. So I'd be careful with such things.
I think quick questions again. So for your level, does it only work for 30 minutes or does it also work for other time frame?
Works on any time frame. I used to trade it on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, and I'm just more convinced on the 30 minute. I'm able to capture bigger, better moves and less false patterns. So that's why I figure out the 30 minute works nicely for me.
Thanks.
Yeah, they work on everything. Yeah.
Avi, I took the trade for the PLTR at 9:31. Do you think the setup was there?
Where'd you go at 9:31? Long, short? Where'd you go?
Long.
Okay. So you would have entered what at the high? Where'd you enter? Let me know. And what was it?
129.50.
Okay, just about there. And where was your stop?
I just put it below the level for the first partial, and I let it. I was thinking until R3 because I think the move started somewhere near S1, so just thinking R3 gonna be perfect situation to go there. Yeah.
Okay, so your stop was basically below the low of day down here.
Yeah.
And where is the target R3? What's the price
R3 is gonna be 132.5.
Okay, so up there. So you're entering here, you got the stop down there, and you're looking at 132.5. You're looking at maybe 2R, 2.5, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so before you enter, it's important to know your RVR before you enter, the way I trade, because you don't want to go with risking $1 to make $1. You trade like that, you'll never make money. So 2.5 is just kind of on the borderline from my trade book. 3 is a bare minimum, and I typically go for bigger. So I'd be careful with that. I'd be careful with targeting trades in that sense. Again, if it's gone and you've missed the entry and your RVR is getting weak, then let it go. You don't have to chase it. That's one thing I'd be super careful about. So just keep an eye on those sorts of things. Again, in the long term, you want to make money. You're going to realize you're going to have losing streaks and winning streaks. It's those losing streaks where you lose 1R regularly, and if you only manage a 2R or 3R trade once every 5 or 10 trades, you're gonna emotionally it's gonna be hard. So one thing I always talk about is really don't get into it, right? Unless it offers you something like 5-1, something enormous, which takes patience. It takes a while to get those setups. And to be honest with you, those are hard to find at the open, because at the open, you see what's happening here. All these are big candles. When you watch this stuff an hour from now, you'll see everything's like tiny little candles, which is great because you can pinpoint your entry and put a tight stop in, which allows the RVR to expand, right?
Yeah.
So those are things I try and do. So hey, this one worked for you. All right. If that's your trade book, great. If you executed according to your plan, all right. But just a few things to think about moving forward. Think about RVR a bit. I think that's more important.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Oh no, PS, I did trade yesterday. If you guys are asking me to explain it. All right, remind me at 10 o'clock. Ara's in charge. She's going to make sure that we get into that. I don't anticipate taking a trade anytime soon. The SPY is just it's nowhere. It's going to take a while before anything sets up for my style. 8 minutes. Thanks, Ara. You're right on top of it, man. I love it. I love it. You guys are on top of things. I don't have to be. You just relax.
Hey, Avi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Nate. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Can you take a look at hams? It's bouncing back off the VWAP from a level of 141 and pushed up to, 64.41. It pushed up to 65. Now it's kind of breaking back down. So it's challenging the VWAP as the significant level. Can you give me your insight on that, please?
Okay, so 64, about 41, right about there. You're saying it broke out. And where's the VWAP right now? Around where it is right now, approximately?
64.48.
Okay, yeah, it's right in this area. Okay, so you have all these indicators, right? You have levels and VWAP and all that. But what's really, I think, a priority is price action. If you look at these candlesticks, I like to say this thing's got teeth. It's got wicks on both sides from the very first candle. The only real candle that was usable and tradable was the third candle of the day, in my opinion. Everything else, look at this, got teeth on both sides. It's telling you, I'm going to bite you.
Gotcha.
You know, so whatever your indicators are, price action to me always takes priority beyond any indicator. So
Okay.
if this is no good, if it's ugly, don't look at it. You know, don't look at ugly things. Simple.
All right. Stand away from it. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Let me see if there's something happening here on the SPY. So it's breaking down of my level, but again, here's another perfect example of what we were talking about. It's breaking down through the level I'm interested in right about now, going down. But just because it's doing that doesn't mean I should be interested. I'm still watching what it did earlier. Last couple of times it broke down here, it found support. So I'm really not interested in taking a short unless it proves to me it's going to break that low. And in that case, I got to make sure if I'm going to do it, that I take a very tight entry to give myself 5 to 1 going to the next level down. If all that happens, and I don't see it happening soon. It could happen in the next 4 or 5 minutes, but with the support that it's been finding down here, looks like it's going to be a while before the sellers truly take over and make it run down. So that's what I see. That's what I think. Let's see what else we got here. It's interesting. 6 months ago, and even the first quarter of this year, I was trading 4 or 5 trades at the open every day, regularly. But I've made a few tweaks in my trading strategy, and now it turns out most of my trades happen a little later in the day. Twice or thrice a week, I get something at the open. That's not very common. And the P&L has just expanded tremendously. So, you know, always be working on your trade book. Little things, you know, just little things can make a big difference. And then whatever little changes you may make, you have to have the ability to execute it. I think that's when it really becomes powerful. Execute it no matter what your mood is or whether you lost the last trade or you won the last trade. That's irrelevant. Execution is key. All right, what's happening? So new low on the SPY. Let's see if it happens. Break the low of day, get down to the green line. One thing that's also making me hesitant is my strategy tells me to only enter around these purple lines, the Fibonacci levels. I put these little green lines when I find precision. So this green line is just a little bit further out from my level that I am comfortable with. So anyways, let it first get there, and if something sets up on a 30-minute and a 1-minute, then I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll wait. Not really a big deal. If you miss it, no big deal. There'll be something else in an hour. So. Okay, real quick before we start looking at yesterday's stuff, we'll look at I think AMD is interesting. You can see that big push up, no setup on the 30-minute for me, but you had that 1-minute ORB going up, and you see the low here, low which was telling you the bottom of the opening range. Look what happened. Came down there, consolidation, breakout. Call it a 5-minute ORB, call it a 25-minute ORB, whatever. The point is you identify an opening range and you catch a breakout. That just happened 3 minutes ago, and it could come back, retest, and continue. Again, I'm not trading this stuff, but you guys who like ORBs and trading the first hour, this is the stuff you look for. All right, I don't see much happening. Let's get through yesterday's action before anybody asks me again, so we can get that done, and then we still have another 30 minutes or so in the session. Here, I'll pull up the screenshots. Who's joining the call late, huh? Come on. Whoa. Okay. The screen is unusually large, so I'm still getting used to it. Okay. Just a moment here, guys. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing the live chart and go to yesterday's action, and we'll walk through that real quick.
way back in the
Sorry, Jessica,
for
can't make out what you're saying. You got a hot mic, Jessica, or are you talking to us? All right. Okay, where was I? There you go. See, the spy wants to push up again. Okay. All right. No, I didn't take a really great screenshot yesterday, but we can work with this. All right. So yesterday, let's go with the setup. Go to the 30-minute. That's a 30-minute, okay, yesterday, where basically it broke out. It was strong. You guys were all here. Now I'm looking at this burgundy level right here, looking at an ABCD. Basically, into the third 30-minute candle, I'm convinced that it's made a move up. It's made a consolidation. It's one candle consolidation. It's got to break out. The setup is there. So I'm only thinking long. I'm not thinking short at all, unless it sets up for a short, which it never did. None of these candles here tell me a short. It's just a great big 30-minute ABCD. Nothing more. So I'm thinking long from, was it 9, 10 o'clock, and after the third 30-minute candle, okay? So 11 onwards. So that's 11 o'clock onwards, where it's about here. And I'm interested in this level here, right? Now, at this point, I noticed that high was there earlier in the day. That's an absolute high. That's very dramatic. You can see it went up there and pushed down right away. So I know that's resistance. No point going long in this area. Let it break through and convince me that it wants to go. And then I'll get involved. I'm not going to go against it, basically, against resistance. So, and oh yeah, also this is resistance because you can see it came down dramatically. It didn't just get up there and get stuck there. That's important. That's why I put that line on. That's how I identify these things. It really went straight down, so it's dramatic. So anyways, in this area, so I identified about 11 that I can think about along. It's only 30 minutes later or so, it finally started to break through there and even start to consolidate up in this area. So about 2 or 3 candles worth of opportunities to enter long. And that's me scaling into a long, not going full size, just scaling in, adding bit by bit. The more I'm getting confirmation that it's holding above, that it broke through and it's holding above, the more I'm adding in. And then the candle dropped here, and that's it. I'm stopped out pretty quickly. I'm out of there. I'm not messing around with this. And this was a tiny size. It was not really even a big deal. It dropped below, but again, it pushed back up. And again, as it pushed back up and starts to hold in this area, again, above that previous massive dramatic resistance, that's where I'm adding in. So scaling in there. And then this happens, this big candle with lots of volume, not volume, sorry, with lots of aggression. You can see that behavior just changes, jumps up, and again, breaks the new high of day. So above of that, that's it. I'm adding in more. And now I'm getting into a decently heavy size. Still not massive, but still there. With the stop down there, I still have enough. I haven't put on enough of a size to call it a full risk. Then this drops and hit the stop button, but unfortunately I had a liquidity issue or some issue. I didn't stop until a little later. So it took a few minutes to stop. In the end, it turned out to be a full stop as far as R is concerned, but that wasn't the plan. That was options, liquidity issues. That's a problem. Anyways, from there, then what happened? Very interesting. It comes down to my primary level down here. And look at this hammer. This is tremendous. It's putting in this massive hammer. It's only after this hammer that I put on this green line down here. I'm thinking, okay, there's massive support down here, which oddly enough turns out to be resistance previously that it broke out from. So you can see something really happening here. What is this? 587.32 down here. And so this is telling me perhaps what's happening with all the support happening here. There's enough buyers coming in to push it up higher and higher for eventually the break of that high and then even that more recent high. So again, I'm scaling this thing in over here. Right, again, not getting into a full size, still just testing the waters kind of thing before I put on that real risk that I like to put on. And then sure enough, that doesn't go again. I get stopped out. So down there, as soon as it drops below the green line, that's the exit. And then, so now that's what, 3 stops, none of them full size except one of them by accident. So at this point, I was down about $114,000, $115,000, but only with 1 full stop. Now you gotta understand that's 3 stops. And if I was fully risked with full size all the time, that should be about $150,000 lost. But it was only about 114, 15 or so. And the reason for that is I'm not jumping into these positions. I'm scaling them up as I get more confirmation. And during that scaling up period, if it doesn't work, I stop out with less than what I call 1R. And so, that controls the risk side of it. So you don't get too wild about it. So there's 3 stops in there. Now what's interesting, let's see, it comes down here. So it breaks that support. That comes down here and starts bouncing off. This is interesting. I'm watching these 2 or 3 candles down here bouncing, and I look at this area and look further back and look what I see here. massive support even here. Even on the first time it went up and it found support here before it broke down again. But then it really found support. I mean, it didn't even close a 1 minute candle below this 587 area, right? When it finally got here again, look at that. It's not even breaking it. So I'm thinking, hold on a sec. Maybe what I was thinking there, I was wrong there. That could be here. Now, again, at no point am I thinking short. I'm only thinking long because of my 30-minute setup. It's nothing but a long. It's never a short. So I'm just trying to find where are these buyers in the vicinity of my burgundy line. On a 30-minute chart, the burgundy line is, this is all just a small area on a 30-minute chart. And on a 1 minute, it looks pretty dramatic, but it's really not. 30 minutes, you can imagine there's 30 of these 1 minute candles in a 30-minute candle. It's pretty, so all this stuff is truly minute, what we're looking at on a 1 minute chart. So anyways, as it starts to bounce off here again, and it starts to claim my area, my main area, down this burgundy line, that's when I start scaling in again, and that's over there, right? But the stop is down there. I know my support's down there. So it's a wide stop. Again, with the wide stop, you can't put on a big size, but I'm just testing the waters, putting it on, and ideally it runs, and I'll tighten up the stop and put on the size, but it didn't run. Instead, it came down and it actually started to, every time it bounced off either my burgundy line or one of my green lines down here, I'm adding more, but only with the stop still down here. So I cannot truly add. All these executions here are adding without moving my stop in tighter. So again, the point is I haven't gone full risk. Not until this very last ad, which happened right after it truly bounced off with a massive bullish candle off of the level and near precisely. That's when I was fully on. And the stop was there. The break even is probably up here somewhere. And so at this point, now I'm at full risk. I don't even have buying power left to put more size on. So on the options chart, these are the entries. The stop is down there. And it's only by the last one that I'm fully risked. And I think the biggest sizes were here because I was close to the stop. I can actually put on a big size. Now the target is way out there. It's like 591 or whatever. It's gone. So anyways, this thing starts to go. I'm not really bothered because my whole idea is that it's a big ABCD pattern. It's got to go. It's only when it starts to break the big high of the day, the absolute high of the day in this area, that I start paying attention to it. So this is, I don't know, 40 minutes, 30 minutes after entering. Then I'll pay attention to it. I'll go have dinner or something, come back and look at it. And it's in this area where the unfortunate thing truly happened is it jumped up quickly, rapidly, massively. This is a massive amount of momentum. I was watching it in this little consolidation. Ideally, it has a good break and retest, and it continues a nice big trend up. But it didn't do that. This was just enormous, fast momentum coming in. And that was scary. That's telling me, all right, it's pushed up dramatically. These things I know are generally not so sustainable. It usually pushes right back where it came from within a minute or so. It's quick. So I'm like, all right, as soon as it gets up to this area, that momentum stalls out, I de-risked it, as in I took off about 2/3 of the position. And at that, taking out 2/3, that's what the P&L ended up looking like after the $115,000 loss. So I still had plenty more on the table, and the whole idea after that was for it to come back and bounce off of the previous high, add some more, and for the remainder of the move. And that's me attempting that add prematurely. I think I got enough here. The new stop is down here. Sure enough, it came back down and it took that stop at break even. So that was the new break even once I added in. So this whole thing, yes, a profitable day, but not a successful trade. There were 3 stops. Well, again, you could call it successful because the execution was right in my review. 3 times stopping out without too much of a loss, no big deal. And then managing risk on the next attempt or the next opportunity and really de-risking it when it looked dangerous that it may not want to run. And in the end, we just manage risk. And the whole thing for me is just managing risk. I'm not really thinking about profits until it gets to my target zone, which, let's look at the 30. This is the whole thing. The target's way out there. It's not even in view on the 1 minute chart, right? I don't think it even got there yesterday. I don't even know. I didn't look at it. But that's it. So all risk management, a little complex with finding those nuanced levels of support and resistance, but only in the vicinity of my massive levels, like these burgundy levels. You see these little green lines? They're tiny. They're just kind of in the vicinity. You can see that there's nothing going on here. It's tiny. But on a 1 minute chart, you see how dramatic this looks? And all I did was try to find the entry where I found that there is a true buyer within this massive 30-minute ABCD pattern. And over here, it just got risky. It just got way too risky. Once it gets high up there, it goes too fast, all that stuff happens. My mind shifts directly into momentum trading, which is scalp the heck out of it, get out of there quick, I'm out, and at break even, de-risk it completely. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. And that was yesterday. And let's see, maybe you'll get some today. I don't know. Cool. Hope that answers a lot of your questions. We got Amy. Yeah, go ahead. You got a question in there?
Yeah. So just so I understand, you are using the 30 minutes for your context and your lines, but then do you always manage your trade using this 1 minute?
I always enter on the 1 minute, and I'm very aggressive with managing my trade in the initial part of the trade. So getting in, scaling in, tightening the stop, those things that I like to do early in the trade within the first 10 minutes or even 30 minutes of the trade. But once it's on its way, it's it's really getting out of that area. It's exited the area and it's on its way to the target. I like to just take my eyes off it, go do something else, answer emails or whatever, and let it run. Let it just go.
But you'll look at the 1 minute and refer to this, like say over the 2 minute or the 5 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute for the precision. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. All right, what's going on here? SPY, it's not going anywhere. What a waste. All right, cool. That's that. Let's get this out of the way. Long day yesterday, Daisy. Yeah, it was okay. This is not unusual. This is, I mean, realistically, you show me where you can show up and work 3 or 4 hours and make $100,000 a day. I don't know anywhere else you can do this. So I don't call it a long day. I'm quite satisfied to be here, really. Legally, all right. Yes, I do make double that every day on some other business. Yeah, I'll be doing that after dark. Yeah. Oh, you're funny, man. All right, where are we? Market don't want to do anything. Well, let me share a screen again. And for those of you who are not familiar, I do share this in my social media pretty much every day when I remember to, and also with my mentees in our little private community, as well as in BBT. Yeah, so it's all there. If y'all want to see this kind of stuff every day, it's all there. Where am I? Okay. What did the market do? All right, AMD. So did that little break of low of day. Look at that. Even broke that level. Interesting. Went up. Looks like a retest. Might be a retest for the big move down. I don't know. Could be anything. SPY is still not worth playing with. When it really breaks up here, 589 later today, I'll like to look at the long for the move up to 590.75. All right, what else we got? Tesla made a little move up. Who got that? Anyone?
I did. Tesla from level.
I know it. I knew both of you would be in it.
I'm still in it. Actually, from the bottom, it was the high of yesterday. I was there and like.
You're amazing. I don't know how you catch these, man.
338, yeah.
Nice job, man. Nice job. Catching that.
Yeah, I added, recycled, took partials, but again, because it's really, really fast, you cannot really put a lot of size on it and control it. And I'm out now. That's it.
Yep, that's the truth about putting on size. You gotta wait for it.
Yeah, 2 hours, fine for the day. I mean, for the morning.
For the morning. The big one's coming. The big one's coming. Just wait. I'm telling you, wait for sunset, man. Sunset's in about 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I exited the major of it at the high. I mean, at the Fibonacci level, which is 344, like below that.
Yeah, just below that. Perfect, man. Look at that. You guys are nailing these trades every day.
Regarding Tesla, if you look, it rode the 9 EMA perfectly up until 3 minutes ago when it broke. Well, you don't have the 9 EMA there, but if you add it, it like was a perfect ride. Do you ever trade like moving average trends, or you never really did it?
You see, my trading is basically, if you look at this chart, it's level to level. Get in on one level, go to the next, and that's it. Whatever it does in between, chop around, mess around, is none of my business. Usually, I don't have to think too much about it. That's the ideal way to trade for me. If you're using these moving averages, it typically means you're trying to capture these, what I call momentum trends or shorter term trends. Like an EMA is a momentum indicator, not a trend indicator, any EMA, because it's really truly weighting the most recent activity. So it's telling you how much momentum is in that. If this 9 EMA is just chopping around, it's pretty horizontal. Well, you can see there's no activity in this, as no momentum. But if it's directional, well, okay, it's an EMA, it's on a 1 minute chart, it's a momentum. It's hard to call a 5 1 minute candles a trend. It's hardly a trend. It's more momentum. So no, I don't do that anymore. I used to. I've intentionally moved away from all that stuff in the last 3 years ago. I think I was really slowly moving away from it. Now I've landed to where I am now with this style of trading. Yeah.
Sorry, just was it hard for you to like? Why did you switch to momentum trading? Was it harder than now, I guess, to make money?
Well, it was in momentum trading. I found it hard to get into the regular 5 figures a day sort of thing. And now like 5 figures a day is like, it's not even worth showing up, you know? So it's based on my goals on day trading, what I'm trying to achieve here. So I've had to slowly adjust. So that comes down to motivation, really, put it that way. So motivated to go and achieve something different. So if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting, which to me was like 2 hour days, maybe 5, 6K, 8K in a day. Sometimes you get into the 5 figures. It's really hard to put on the kind of risk and be able to hold a full size for a full move with momentum stuff. You just have to scalp it, basically. And also, it's hard to do with leverage. You got to use a massive account size. I didn't want to do. I want to put cash away. I don't want to keep the account so big, so I always minimize it at the end of every week. So for all those various reasons, I've discovered this style of trading has been much better for me. It's easier, actually. I find it easier and more profitable. And much by easier, I mean less stressful. I can put on more risk without stressing about it. So that's how I see it. But again, that's down to a reflection of my personality, right? Yeah, everyone's got to look at your own self and what's your appetite and what's your temperament and what your goals are. Start with all that stuff, and then you'll discover your trading style, and then evolve it as you go. Wow, look at this mess. Ugh, on the SPY. I don't want to touch anything today. AMD is still a decent example as a breakout potential retest. What's good here is this high is lower than the previous one, just mildly, but it's encouraging for the short. Still be careful with it. It's got a big catalyst or whatever. It's moving around a lot today. Agnes Trading, I've been involved with the financial markets since 2017, full-time day trading since 2019. So coming up on about 6 years now. Wow, it goes fast, huh? When you're active and you're always busy, always doing something, it goes fast. Don't ask me again. I don't want to remember how long I've been doing this. It kind of dates me a little bit. So.
Sorry, just as a follow-up, how long did it take you to be profitable since you started?
Day trading, for me, I'd say about 3 years, maybe 3.5, somewhere in that range. And but I have to say that with that, I think the only reason it took me so long was because I was a terribly irresponsible adult. I was just reckless. If you are a responsible adult, you're not just throwing money at an ORB, for example. It shouldn't be so difficult, and especially nowadays with everything that we have available. I mean, we got bootcamp, we got BBT with all the education, we got all mentorship, private mentorship, we got funded accounts, we got all kinds of opportunities. None of this existed 5, 6 years ago. So, as long as you're a responsible adult and not reckless, you should be on your way much before that. But that's as far as learning trading is concerned. I got to say that beyond that, there's one thing that pretty much qualifies or disqualifies you right away is the quality of your existence, the quality of your life. So one of the big things that held me back when I was, beginning the first 2 or 3 years was I was in a very abusive marriage. And until I actually filed for divorce and got that done, it was literally, really, like, almost instantly, my trading became consistent. I didn't really change much as far as my trading style at the time. But instantly, my execution, my ability to stay sharp and stay emotionally intelligent, do all that stuff, it just started happening. So if you're a wreck in your life, it's going to reflect in your trading, put it simply. So get that stuff sorted out, because that's a massive disqualification, put it that way, because trading will reveal you. Whatever's going on in your life will reflect in your trading. It's amazing, and that's been my personal experience, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people I know like that. So think of things in those terms. In learning trading, again, the facilities and opportunities are all here, everything here. You're already in the right place. But get your other shit together. This is a high-performance environment, and I think you really got to be on top of yourself to be able to perform every day. Otherwise, go clean that up first, and then show up. So that's what I think about it.
Avi, did you have days you wanted to quit, or like you were frustrated and you just like, okay, you know what, the heck with this?
Oh yeah, I quit at one point. I quit for 6 months, and that wasn't. I quit for 6 months. I quit. I just found my way back 6 months later somehow, through BBT and Amen and YouTube, and eventually I found my way back. But I straight up quit. It was just too painful. It was just losing all the time. I couldn't handle it, and it was a mess. So yeah, I've done that. I don't recommend doing that. I think you're in the right place. That's why, again, the support system, a community, mentorship, accountability, working with experienced people, with mentors, and with in bootcamp you have your teams, all this stuff. Having that community is incredibly powerful. That'll keep you through those really difficult periods, and you're gonna have them, and you must have them. It's a part of the learning curve. You must, otherwise you're not gonna evolve as a trader, not gonna step up. So yep, that's there.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about quitting because I just started. I just wanted to kind of like hear from people who already like experienced trading and.
Oh yeah. You got to be hard-headed. You're gonna get these impulses. Even a few years in, you have 2-3 days in a row where you're max loss and all that, and you're gonna want to quit. It's gonna happen. You're gonna doubt yourself. You're a human being. But again, that's where the power of accountability and community and all the stuff that we're doing here comes in, right? That's what really counts. When it really counts, it's very powerful stuff. So don't neglect it. Don't neglect it, for sure. It'll happen. It should happen to everyone. It happens to me all the time still. So no big deal.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to add something into that.
Yeah.
That you're feeling the pain when you're trying to quit. That's a good sign of evolving.
I love it, man. You always got all these nice articulations. Thanks, Lovepreet. Yeah, man, for sure. When you feel the pain, it shows you care. So, you're not just here to gamble and have some fun. You really care, so it hurts. I like that. Thanks for bringing that up. Very, very important point. It's not just losing money, but it's also a matter of losing dreams or pride or, all that sort of stuff. It all comes, all that's painful. None of this stuff is easy. It's all painful. And that's why, again, I'll reinforce it, the support system. It's why we all need it. We all need it. It's amazing what we really should be doing. Look at that. Did anyone catch that? I was telling you about the retest going down. It's happening.
Hey, Avi.
Mm-hmm.
Do most of the traders did they also get profitable, or however you want to call it, with a mentor? Or did most of them do it on their own?
Well, everyone's a little different. Me personally, I've been on my own. I guess I was very solitary, and I wish I didn't do it that way. It would have been faster, but that's just me. Everyone I know, though, are at least very active, at least in BBT, which is a large community, but everyone's actually just engaging rather than sitting on their own at home and not talking to anybody. If you're talking about truly solitary, that is, you're going to hurt yourself unless you're a special talent or something, I think that's going to really hurt yourself doing it that way on your own. But a lot of people have a better chance with mentors or bootcamp programs or all this stuff that we got going.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember I tried to go at it on my own. I read a book once about candlesticks way before, like 2 years before I found BBT, and I figured, okay, let me go into the market a little bit. I had no clue. It's only since I joined BBT that things started to make sense to me, and I call that even solitary because I was just a member in BBT, really. But I was always extremely active, so to the point where Andrew one day called me and told me you should be a moderator. So here we are now.
Well, I asked because we started our mentorship almost a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
And I feel like my trading evolved so much faster since then compared to the years before. So
yeah. And I see the way you're doing, man. I like it. You're always asking questions, which is great because it shows you're engaged. You're pushing it. You're trying to break your boundaries. That's great. You're doing the right things. I've seen you progress in the last year or so. So keep going. It's painful. It's slow sometimes, but it's what it takes. It's worth it. You can see the results are there. It's worth it. It's available to all of us. So stick through.
Yeah, I think it came to the point of just having the mental capacity. I think that's the thing that is getting in the way. But we're here to solve it. So
yep. There you go. Mental capacity comes down to being a trader, right? Not just trading. It's a different world. You know all about it. So good, man. I'm glad you're still here, man. It's been a year and a half. Still here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let me share, Avi, as a boot camper, one experience. This is just a suggestion because the bootcamp just started. This is just sharing experience. Guys, at the beginning, the very first few weeks, 3-4 weeks, try to take very, very small because you haven't found your strategy, you haven't tuned it yet. What happens that I have seen in some of my fellow teammates in that boot camp is that you lose, you go down, you lose hope, and then within the middle of the boot camp, you start getting better. But because you're down, you're just going back from negative to zero. While if you were starting with very small risk, that's $10, $20 versus $100, then you're going to lose, for example, $500 at the beginning within the first half of the bootcamp. But the second half, you're going to be positive. But if you're going to be down like $2,000, $3,000, $3,000, you're going to be out of bootcamp. Then it's going to be very, I don't want to be pessimistic. I'm just going to share you the reality. I'm saying that take very small, get the momentum once you tune your strategy, because the bootcamp is for you to tune your strategy, then size it up.
Cool. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Oscar. Fantastic. Listen to him, guys. He's exactly where y'all are in bootcamp. He was there, just a few months ago.
Hey, Avi.
Fantastic. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, buddy. So how do you consider even a stock or finding a stock when I'm looking? So I'm watching NVIDIA, I'm watching AMD, I'm watching SMCI. They look like they're basically trending with the SPYs and the Qs. Is this just your time to kind of just sit back? Is this where you put your feet up? Because I do see some movement, it pops up, but when I look over, I'm like, okay, it's moving with the SPYs or the Q is the pop-up. So it's a fake out, right? It's a fake breakout. It's not the strength is not in itself. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm battling, like I want to take the trade. Like right now, AMD is popping up from that retest.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid it's just still a move with the SPYs, because at the same time, the SPY and the Qs are doing the same thing.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is you're becoming very indecisive because of this correlation you're looking at.
Okay.
And when I traded these Mag 7 stocks only a few months ago, I was full-time trading these stocks. I ignored correlation completely. I just applied my strategy to the candlesticks on AMD or NVIDIA or whatever it is. If the setup is there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. That's it. I wouldn't. I never made it complicated with correlations, because I'll tell you one thing that'll really kill you is indecision. Truly, if you have an indicator that's making you second guess what you need to be doing, my opinion is remove that indicator. Why do you think I don't have anything left on my charts but levels and candles? And even those levels are levels I created. You know, there's nobody knows about them. It's just something I created, and that's it. So, and my trading's much better for it, much better. So again, if using correlation helps you make a decision, a decisive, good decision, and you've back tested, you got some good statistics on it, and you know it works for you and the way you see things, the way you perceive it all, then sure, use it. But it sounds like it's making you indecisive, and that's dangerous when you're trading, because when you're indecisive, one is if you haven't taken a trade, you may not take the trade you should, and the other is if you've taken a couple of trades and you've made a few losses, you're going to end up taking a trade you shouldn't. You know, and indecision will basically, you're in the gray area, and based on your mood, you could go in any direction. Now that's dangerous. That's not what you want. You want absolute clarity and decisiveness. This is my entry, this is my stop out, that's my target, and that's the end of that. There's no fucking around. Really, there isn't.
Got it.
Think of it that way.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, guys. Last couple of minutes here. We'll end this at 10:30. And for those of you BBT Elite members, I'll be in the webinar room there in 30 minutes at 11 a.m. doing some live trading in there. Maybe we'll get something, maybe we won't. But come on in, have a chat, have some fun, all that good stuff. Daisy, what you got here? Why did you specifically choose the 8 a.m. as your candle? You must have gone over this before. Yes, Daisy. Thor was here yesterday, and he went over it. He knows all about it. He'll be here tomorrow. Ask him. He'll tell you. He'll talk to you about it for an hour. No problem. Basically, Thor brought it up about 3 or 4 years ago, and BBT was always talking about it. It's basically the market makers open for business and settlements. Anyways, point is, use the high and low of that candle. and intraday, those levels get respected. I found that to be true with back testing. And then I figured, hold on, let me add measured moves to that, because I've used measured moves in various other indicators and strategies, and testing that, and it works. There you go, Sumit. Thanks. I use it because it works. The curiosity came from Thor. He was just nonstop talking about driving me nuts. So, you're curious about something, go with independent thinking, let your imagination run, then go test it. If it makes sense to you, if it works, if you're able to execute it, if it brings clarity to your trading, use it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of independent thinking. Yeah, Dave, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, like, so measured moves, you're taking from the measured moves only, like, so you're not taking from the previous support or resistance. I noticed like you start like, okay, marking those resistance as support these days, but you are not actually using them.
Yeah, like here on the SPY, for example, you can see these green lines, right? That's basically resistance previously. Now, you got to understand the way I use levels, and I think pretty much everyone uses it this way, is the level is an area. It's only when the price gets to that area that you start zooming in and seeing where precisely is that buyer or seller. Now, yesterday told us precisely that seller is there. That's that firm resistance in the area, in the vicinity of the level. So I'm going to use that. If the price gets up there today and it starts to break out in this area, breakout retest, I'm going long up for the next level. I will struggle to go long below it. Maybe I will, but let's see. It depends on the pattern setup. Might take a pre-entry if the pattern is, outstanding. But again, the level is an area, and then when the price gets there, that's when you get your precision from price action. We talked about this a little bit ago. Price action is the most important thing, and the 1 minute is really precise. That's when I zoom into the 1 minute and look at it only when it's in the vicinity of my level, and figure out where are these buyers, where are these sellers, what is it truly doing? Is it confirming what the 30 minute is telling me? 30 minutes telling me long. Is the 1 minute telling me that, or is it just going the other way? If it's going the other way, I won't touch it. So that's how that goes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. All right. Cool, guys. All right, 10:30 here. Hope you all had fun. This was fun. I enjoy it. I always enjoy coming and hanging out with you guys. And yeah, BBT room, webinar room in 30 minutes, 25 minutes realistically. Come in, say hi, have some fun, and make some money.
I have one last question. I'm sorry.
Sure. What's up?
I hope this is not a stupid question, but let's just say when you catch you trade in the 5 minutes ORB, and then you see your setup, you go in, you make a couple of profits or whatever, and then let's say for some reason it goes the other way, and then you have to get out. Now let's just say you're watching it, and then at some point you see another opportunity to get in. I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't call it an opportunity, maybe your setup. At that moment, it's not really considered a 5 minute ORB at that moment, because the whole point of a 5 minute ORB is the first 5 minutes. So at that moment, what are you like? What are you trading?
Firstly, there are no stupid questions. Please don't think like that. You're going to hurt yourself thinking like that. Okay, we're all here trying to learn. Secondly, if the opportunity presents itself again, get back in. I mean, yesterday I took 3 attempts at it, and the 4th attempt worked. The setup was the same. Just because it wicked you out or stopped you out once doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Maybe you got in too early, or you put your stop in the wrong place, or whatever. The market doesn't care about you. But if the market provides a setup 5 times in 5 minutes, I'm in every single time. And that's discipline. You need that. That's important. Yep.
Okay. So at that moment, it's not really, it's not really considered. I guess that maybe I'm just leaning too much on the name, like the 5 minute. At that moment, it's not really a 5 minute RB strategy anymore at that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Real quick, I'll show you here on AMD. Look at this. You can consider this breakdown that happened about 9:45.
Right.
That happened 15 minutes after the open, and it sets up nicely just as a 5 minute ORB. No big deal. Nothing wrong with it. It's the same setup. It just happened 15 minutes later.
Okay.
Just don't get caught up in the name. We call it 5 minute ORB. That's just because of the 5 minute candle and all that. That's just a title. It's not descriptive. It's just a name.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right, guys. This was fun. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And come and say hi in the BBT webinar room in about 25 minutes. Otherwise, I'll talk to y'all later then.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy. See you guys. See ya.